Welcome to Brudiclad, Telchor Engineers. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got... Yeah, this is not bad. I'm not super wild about this one. You know, if we hit the third land for Saheeli, that does work out, but I think we're going to ship this one back. I'm okay with that. And yes, we will keep on this one. We can always put Supplement Form back. We've got Arcane Denial, we have a Token Enabler, and we do have a hard counterspell and 3 lands. So yeah, let's go and keep on this one. Let's go and put Supplement Form back. Click OK, and then we are on the play. So we'll go and lead off with Volcanic Island. That way, if we do run into something like Brainstorm or something, we can still at least hold on to the fetch land to get a little, shuffle the library up or have some sort of way to utilize that Scalding Tarn. So let's go and lead off with Volcanic Island. And then anything else, let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Brudiclad. Come back here, buddy. There we go, a little stage fright. We're playing Brudiclad, Telchor Engineer. Creature tokens you control have haste. Then at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. And our opponent missed a land drop? Not entirely sure what that was about. Let's go and lead off with Wooded Foothills, and then anything else will pass the turn. Let's see if they've got the land for the turn. Playing against Krenko, Mob Boss. Yeah, that was... maybe they accidentally auto-yielded through the turn. I'm not sure. There we go. Snow-covered mountain. Playing against Krenko, Mob Boss. That's going to be Gamble. Okay. Playing against Krenko, Mob Boss. Tap, create X11 red goblin creature tokens where X is the number of goblins that you control. I do utilize the auto-yield features within Magic Online. In fact, if you're not familiar with Magic Online, there's ways that you can just say, hey, pass the turn until it's my turn. And if you're the opposing player and then the other player, if y'all kind of basically activate the yields at the same time, sometimes the game will skip through your turn. So maybe that's what happened with our opponent. We'll see what they're grabbing with this gamble. But either way, we're going to be a pretty good spot. We're going to be able to make the land drop next turn, go for Saheeli, and then still have Counterspell online. Our opponent does discard Goblin King off of that gamble. So not sure if that's what they were looking for. Maybe. With Mountain Walk, with Volcanic Island, that might have been it. So we'll see. Let's go and crack Wooded Foothills. Let's grab ourselves... did I put the snow land in here? I may not have. No, not yet. I'm just going to put the Steam Vents. Not going to pay 2 on that one. And then pass it back over to our turn. So we're definitely going to lead off with Saheeli. That way we can get some tokens on the battlefield. I think that sounds like a good plan. Let's go Saheeli. That's going to be blue, blue, and then tap down for triple blue. And we're just going to leave Saheeli up, set it, and forget it. So anything else, pass the turn to our opponent. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that's going to apply my affiliate link and allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you use that, hey, much obliged. Certainly appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. There we go. Opponent's got an Ancient Tomb, so they're back online. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. That's going to be a Chaos Warp. Oh, on Saheeli with a Signet, but we'll take that. You know, there's worse things that could be happening to our Token Enabler, and then we get a Mana Rocket. Oh yeah. Oh yes, Togo, Togo, Togo. All right, so let's get Togo on the battlefield. This is good. I like this, and we have a fetch land. There we go. You know, we're leaving up Scalding Tarn for a Brainstorm, but you can also lead up for Togo, which is a wonderful feeling. Let's go and grab ourselves another Blue Source, and that's going to be 2 rocks entering the battlefield, which is going to be very good. I like this. All right, so we got Togo on the battlefield, and then anything else. Yeah, we're still online for both counterspells, so we'll go and pass the turn. Let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/jolt, it's going to get you 10% off of your order for whatever sort of gaming accessories that you may want. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time, so let's have some fun. Let's see if all Krenko's entering the battlefield. We do have counter magic to stop it. That's going to be Arcane Denial. Yeah, I think we do this. I think I like Arcane Denial. It's going to give us a little bit extra card draw. And then if they do end up going for Krenko, we still have a counterspell against Krenko. And that's going to give them some card draw and also give us a little bit of card draw. So I think we're okay with that. They do have 1 colorless mana floating, so we'll see if they just there we go. They're going to pass the turn. But yes, with Brudiclad, welcome. I made a couple changes to the deck, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Togo is one of the additions to the deck, and so we get to showcase how fun it can be with Brudiclad, hopefully. And then opponent's going to draw 2 cards. I think on this one, we'll see what else we draw into, but with Metallurgic Summonings, we can tap out for Metallurgic Summonings. And that's going to be a lot of tokens on the battlefield. We might be able to go So basically, we're at the point to where we do tap out for metallurgic summonings. We get that down. That cuts us off going for counterspell and telling time. But if we get metallurgic summonings down, that's going to be some extra tokens, and then eventually we're going to be able to get to Brudiclad. I kind of like that. Let's do that. All right, so we're going to go for metallurgic summonings. And the very least, as long as we keep making our land drops, Krenko's a 3/3, so we can get these rock tokens equipped on one of our creatures, whether it's a construct token or actually Togo themselves, and then we'll be able to at least deal with Krenko over there. So let's go, and plus they're just sitting at Ancient Tomb and double mountain. So let's go and swing it for 2, knock our opponent down to 24, and then pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, if you haven't seen Brudiclad before, this is definitely a blue-red Spellslinger deck. That's kind of what we're going for. If you've never played Spellslinger, it is one of the just best ways to play Magic, because win or lose, you're just being able to get that extra 2-for-1 value off your spells. We've got metallurgic summonings on the battlefield. Let's say we run into another fetch land. It's going to be 2 more rocks with Togo. Then we just do our normal stuff like counterspell and telling time. Having that tag along. It's just fun to end up building a deck in which you have all of these these overlapping values that, you know, we're going to be making our lane drops anyway. We get Togo on the battlefield. Next thing you know, we're building up our Brudiclad token army, and it's a lot of fun to get that sequence. So, all right, opponent's got Goblin Chieftain on the battlefield. It'd be nice if we do end up hitting a land for next turn. But at the very least, we've got Counterspell and Telling Time, because we do need to equip the rock token. It will only be 1, so we at least need to leave up 2 mana to be able to throw a rock at Goblin Chieftain, which... this is great. I love it. All right, so we're running to 3 Dynamo, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we just leave it up at this point. Let's go for Rock on Togo. And that has to be 1 tap. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're not going to swing in with Togo. If they've got some spot, okay, then about to say they're pausing like they might have spot removal. I think what we do on this one, we just pass the turn. We've got Counterspell, we've got Telling Time. That's going to be 2 more metallurgic summoning tokens, and then hopefully once we get Counterspell and Telling Time down, with Telling Time we'll be able to hit the lane drop and be able to go for Brudiclad, and at least kind of, you know, we end up with a 2/1 mirror on the battlefield, but at least being able to turn these rocks into some creatures. It's a pretty good feeling. So. But yeah, you know, that's one of the fun things about building Spellslinger, is you're able to generate these extra 2-for-1 values, and then when we finally get Brudiclad down, it's kind of like the Overrun Stampede style effect, in that you get to end up with this huge token army. It's a lot of fun. Togo is a wonderful addition to this deck. We also did add Stormkiln Artist. Stormkiln Artist is 4 mana, and it's very much like Murmuring Mystic. Cast an instant or sorcery, you get a treasure token. And in a deck like this, that is huge. You know, being able to use an instant or sorcery to get an extra token on the battlefield. Okay, so we've got Goblin Chain Whirler. Enters the battlefield, does 1 damage to each opponent, each creature they control. That's going to put us down to a 2/2 with 3 extra mana they have floating. I think we're okay with that. We're still going to end up with Togo on the battlefield. Yeah, it's not going to really get rid of anything right now. Okay, so we're going to click OK. So we have 1 damage on Togo. We're going to wait for this 3 red mana floating to at least kind of pass one to get to the combat step. Okay. So let's finally cash in the Counterspell on this one. So we're going to go Counterspell. That's going to be 1/2. That's going to get us an extra token on the battlefield. And then we're going to end up going for Telling Time. So we've got the 2/2 construct on the battlefield. If they want to swing in, they certainly can. Let's go for Telling Time. And mainly with this Telling Time, we're just looking for a land drop or some sort of way to get to 6 mana. We do have 3 Dynamo, but we'll have to take the turn off on that one. There we go. All right, so let's go and put Island into our hand. Yeah, we're good with this. So let's go Island into the hand. Card on top of the library, that's going to be Care Keep, and then card on the bottom with Chromatic Lantern. So, they will pass the turn. That does put us on Brudiclad next turn, since we have gotten rid of all of our counter magic. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's going to be 6. But that will cut us off the rock token with Goblin Chieftain, and so I think what we might end up doing is still going 3 Dynamo for next turn, and then just waiting a little bit on getting Brudiclad down. I think that'll work out. So, all right, so we have Care Keep. Let's make the land drop for the turn. That's going to be an extra rock token. There we go. Yeah, because if we don't get rid of Goblin Chieftain, then they're going to be able to get down Krenko, and it's going to have haste. Yeah, that's not going to be good. So let's go and go for that. So let's go Thran Dynamo. That's going to open us up on mana, and let's go for Togo. We're going to target Goblin Chieftain. Let's go and pay 1 off of Arcane Signet. We're going to... there we go. That's some good Goblin Warfare right there. Let's go and swing in. Yeah, because right now we're tied at the life total rate. So let's go and swing in for 4. And then, yeah, anything else past the turn. So we are looking at Brudiclad for next turn. We also have another line of play that we can go for, and that's going to be Stroke of Genius. So what we'll end up doing is, if we go Brudiclad, that's going to turn our rock tokens into 2/1s, or at least 2/2s with those construct tokens. And then we can swing in because our tokens are going to have haste. We're going to have a land drop that's going to be an extra token, so they're sitting at 16. The other line of play that we can go for is tapping out for a really big Stroke of Genius. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's going to be Stroke of Genius for 6. I think at this point, the better line of play that we can go for right now is going to be Brudiclad, especially with Krenko on the battlefield. Like I mentioned, we're getting these rock tokens, so if we need... If we need to start equipping these rock tokens across our creatures and throwing them, we certainly can to get rid of Krenko. And, even if we do end up getting Brudiclad down, and we can't necessarily go for an alpha swing, then we might end up going for... We'll see. Okay, our opponent is going to go for Goblin Crater Maker. Deal 2 damage to target creature, destroy target non-land permanent. It's colorless non-land permanent. So, they do have some pretty good options. If we end up making a... They can pop 3 in Dynamo, and that definitely cuts us off some mana. And then they're going to deal 2 damage to Togo. I don't blame them on that one. So we can Stroke of Genius for 4, though. Well, not for 4, for X equals 1. And that'll be an extra token, and that'll be a pretty good chunk of damage, especially if we end up going for Brudiclad, and that'll be converted mana cost 4. Actually, I think I kind of like that a lot. So let's go that. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. This is not the best Stroke of Genius out there, but with them going for our token source with Togo, main thing is we're just looking for extra tokens on the battlefield. So let's go for the Metallurgic Summoning. That's going to be a 4/4, and we're going to draw an extra card draw, and that's going to be Is It Guildgate? Okay, so we are definitely online for getting Brudiclad down and having our creatures turn into 4/4s, which should be pretty good. So let's see what we draw into. Ooh, draw into Skull Clamp. Okay, so let's make the land drop. That's going to be Care Keep. Let's go for Brudiclad. So we have Brudiclad on the battlefield. Let's make a Kobold token off of Care Keep. Yeah, there we go. I like this. So we're going to get the Kobold token. Let's go to our combat step. We're going to get that 2/1 mirror. And we're going to make a copy of the 4... Oh, look at this. This is just absolutely stunning. Okay, and I think they can block 2... Yes, this should be game on this one. So we're going to swing it with the entire crew. Look at that. Love it. But yeah, that's one of the ways that, you can definitely use Stroke of Genius as a way to, get some card advantage, but simply just getting a full 4 construct token on the battlefield, hey, that's what it takes sometimes. So anyways, it's always nice to get stuff like that sequenced up. If you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.